Hello, are you a late night snacker? Do you really enjoy that end of the day when you can properly, finally relax and switch off and you're curled up on the sofa with a cup of tea or whatever your choice is and a few little snacks and nibbles? Is that a really important part of your ritual? Well, you're not alone. That's something that a lot of people really do look forward to and enjoy at the end of the day and as a way to sort of decompress from the stresses of the day. But it's also something that people worry about because especially if you're trying to lose weight, if you're watching this, chances are you've got an interest in that. And it's one of the most common questions that I get, do I have to give up my late night snacks, or how can I stop it, or what else can I have? So I'm going to answer that for you now. So one of the reasons that we try and think about snacking or reducing the amount of snacking when we talking about weight loss plan is, one, we want to try and bring your overall calories down a little bit so that you're in a calorie deficit and you can burn the fat stores instead and lose body fat. And the other thing that we're trying to do is, when you reduce the amount of times or the frequency that you eat, you allow the body go into fat burning mode. When we're constantly picking and constantly nibbling throughout the day, our body is releasing insulin, and that clears out the sugar from our bloodstream and stores it as fat and puts us in fat storage mode. So the more often we're eating, the more often we're in that fat storage mode. So part of our weight loss strategies are to try and reduce the frequency of meals, reduce the amount of overall carbohydrates that we eat to get a good balance. That doesn't mean no carbs, but it's allowing us to spend more time in that fat burning mode. And that's particularly important when you're over 40, and that can be a really good strategy for women who are finding that the weight's creeping on at this time of their life, even though the diet's pretty much the same as it ever has been. Okay, so let's go back to snacking. So the first thing for evening snacks is, what you would ideally want to move away from is anything that is just very sugary or very high in carbohydrates, and change instead to snacks that are a bit more balanced, so they're like a little mini meal. So instead of having crisps on their own, popcorn on their own, or together with the crisps, or what's the other one I was thinking of? Sugary chocolate, rice cakes. People think that they're a good thing to have because there's no calories, but they really do spike your blood sugar. Switch into something that's a little bit more balanced. So it could be some nuts and some dark chocolate, some berries with cream or Greek yogurt. You can mix a little bit of a flavoured protein powder with yogurt that can be good if you want more sweet things. If you like more savoury stuff, you could think along the lines of like a mezzi, a few olives, a little bit of cheese, some prosciutto, or a little bit of hummus, oatcakes, peanut butter, that type of thing. So think about the things that you really enjoy and see how you can mix them together so they're lower carb, or you're having carbohydrates with a little bit of protein and a little bit of fat. That's going to give you more balance and not spike your blood sugar so much. So the second thing is, if you like to have that little meal, that little sort of evening snack, just make your tea a little bit lighter. Save some of your calories from your breakfast or your lunch or your evening meal, so that you're able to have this little snack. So you're thinking of having maybe 4 meals a day or 3.5 meals a day, and you're saving your calories to use at that evening time, which you really like. And then finally, and this is a good one to try, one of the things that's really good to help you get into that fat burning mode for longer is what we call intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting doesn't have to be very long, and in particular for women, you don't want it to be. So having 12 or 13 hours without eating can be really beneficial as part of a weight loss strategy. So that means if you finish your little midnight snack or evening snack at around, 9:30, say, go 12 hours before you have your breakfast. So push your breakfast back until, say, 9:30 or 10 o'clock. That's all you would have to do. And the good news there is, most of the time that you're not eating, you're asleep. And for people who tend to be late night eaters, they can find it quite easy to push their breakfast back a little bit so that they get this 12-hour window of not eating. And, that may well be something that it really works for you, so that you can eat in a way that you really enjoy. Because When you're trying to bend your diet into somebody else's ideal, that can be when you don't stick with it. So pay attention to what works for you and see how you can adjust other things so that you're achieving your goals, you're reducing your calories, and reducing your blood sugar, and able to set up a way of eating that is doable for you, that suits you, so you can stick with it for the long term. So have a try of that. Let me know if you try it. But if you like this type of approach, then you might be interested in one of my programs, because that's how I work with my clients to find them a way of eating and exercising that really works for them and their lifestyle and their goals. Okay, so you can find out more at theover40spersonaltrainer.com. Thanks for dropping by. I hope to see you again soon. Bye now.